So you think it's more than just four walls and a contract and closing day. And I think that that's okay. It's okay. It's actually a beautiful thing to look at real estate as more than just the everyday transaction, the everyday closing, or the standard procedure in terms of what it means to be a real estate agent. I actually love that. And I personally wanted to take that approach as well. It is nerve-wracking. It is nerve-wracking. It is confusing. It is tiring. And most of all, it is scary. It is very scary. It is a very bumpy road. Now, me thinking of all of the sales I do not have, but that's okay because when you're building something that is going to last a lot longer than whatever you're posting this month, I think it's worth it. I really do. I think that I could post a picture that says just closed, but how long will that picture last? How much value does it actually give my brand? How much value does it give my clients? Of course, behind the scenes, I am sure they more than appreciated that just closed aspect. But what value in terms of digital media does it hold? If someone is scrolling through my feed, if someone is going through my brand, my portfolio, would a photo that says just listed be something that they're like, oh my gosh, this proves this is the agent for me? I mean, I'm not gonna say no because I don't have any photos that say just listed or just sold, just closed. Like I actually don't have any transactions. I feel like we should scratch that out. But you know what? We're here to be raw, to be real, and to share my experience and hopefully inspire you on your journey or your look into our world, the real estate industry. Maybe you're doing research. Maybe you want to get to know agents. You want to see what it takes to be a good agent. You want to see what kind of agent would fit for you. You want to see what agent you want to be. You want to see the kind of agent you don't want to be. Whatever it is, I'm sure you can find a place in this office. And here it is a community. So, welcome to the office. I don't want to copy Tess Barclay, but clock in because we have to get to work. For starters, this is not scripted. I do have an outline that I prepare, and then I actually go into ChatGPT and we kind of put together some prompts to help stimulate the conversation so it can flow naturally. And I'm going to answer some of these questions, some of these prompts, and I'm going to warn you, I am a yapper, so we will go on and on and on, and I might take a little detour. We might look at some cute houses. Probably not. I won't put any pictures on here, I promise. But we'll make our way back. Okay? I swear. Let's start with what made you choose this career? I'm gonna give you the real answer because I'm going to be straightforward with you. Selling sunset and the lifestyle that you see on social media. Selling sunset, the money, of course. They make it look very glamorous. They make it look very dramatic. They make it look like lots of fun. And they make it look, am I gonna say effortless? No. I'm pretty sure every time I watched that show, somebody was crying, somebody was yelling, or someone was telling me how their life was falling apart. But yeah, that still made me want to be a real estate agent. So there I went, and you see all these things about they go to events, they get to see pretty houses, they make good money, they start their own business, and it is all a very glamorous and attractive idea. It really is. And going into it, am I going to say that that's exactly what I got? No, I'm not. I'm not going to say that's exactly what I got, but I will say there is truth in it. There really is. You get to see pretty homes. You get to see some not so pretty homes. You get to see homes that need work. You get to see investment pieces. You get to see state of the art mansions, depending which side of real estate you're on, depending who your clientele is, who your professional network is. You will see these things. You'll see lots of things. You'll meet lots of different people. You will be invited to a lot of events, a lot of lunches, because everyone wants to have lunch with you. And I think that's so funny. And it makes me feel like It makes me feel like a mini little celebrity when all the lenders are coming and they're like, "Hey, can I have lunch with you? Hey, can we talk about your goals? Hey, can we talk about your business? Hey, I would love to get to know you." And I'm like, "Of course you do. Why is everyone obsessed with me?" But it is the name of the game. It is business. It is networking. It is building connections, building relationships. And I like it. I love it. I do love it. It is expensive. It is it's expensive in terms of the investment. You're going to invest money, you're going to invest time, you're going to invest creativity, and you are going to invest your soul. It's literally you're going to invest your soul. But the way I explain it, it is so worth it because at the end of the day, the money I'm putting in, the time I'm putting in, the creativity and the brain power I have to put in behind the scenes comes back to me, to my brand, to my business, and to something I am building. So it is fulfilling. It does not feel like a tax, it feels like an exchange. And I absolutely love it. I do have another job. So this is not my only career. I actually juggle quite a bit of jobs. Not juggle. I honor them. I honor them and I work them. And yeah, but like the difference between the feeling you get as a shift worker, you invest as much money, not really, but you pay for a uniform or you pay for gas to go to work, you buy your snacks at work, whatever it be. You invest a lot of time in shift work. You get what I consider a little bit of compensation. I feel like it doesn't last these days in this market, in this economy. Um, but it doesn't go into me. The time or money or energy that I'm putting into that job, into that company, doesn't come back to me in a way that feels fulfilling. No, it feels draining. And that is the difference between all of the time, energy, and money you'll invest into real estate. It's probably triple what you would invest into a regular shift job, but it comes back triple. It really feels better. Have I seen a check? I have not, but the feeling and reward you get is just great. And I know that sounds cliche, but it is honestly so true. With that being said, it's very, in my opinion, I like to consider it a gateway to entrepreneurship. It truly is the start of the next big thing. It is borderline working a regular job, but you do have to acquire the skills of an entrepreneur, of a business owner, of a CEO, of a founder. You really have to put your heart and soul into it. Some people do that differently. Some people try to build a digital media brand, such as myself. Some people just want to have a good, close knit Facebook post with their local community. Whatever it is, you still have to adapt these skills that take you further. And I guarantee you, if you ask any agents hey, do you have a side hustle? Do you have another business? What else do you do? They will 90% of the time have another answer or have an answer with another thing that they pursue. And it really is great because there's so many ventures you will find in this office alone. Okay, I can't think of every single person's side jobs, but I know there's people that try to do property management, they do art, they do photography, they do social media, whether that be a digital media brand or they do pursue YouTube. For example, me, you're gonna find this on YouTube. So if you ask me as an agent, hey, do you do something besides real estate? And I would say yes. Besides real estate, I do work another job. I'll keep that out of here, but I do work a shift job. And I am also the founder of a digital media brand. I am trying to monetize on YouTube, on Instagram, and Facebook, and build a brand that, of course, complements my real estate venture. But overall, I want it to be a digital media brand that says, hey, real estate is not just about being an agent. It is an industry and there's so much more to it. So here we are. I think it's important to get this out of the way. I don't want to be a standard salesperson. I tried cold calling. Did it work for me at the time? It didn't work for me. Or maybe I did not work for it. But it did not lead me anywhere where I saw returns. In this moment, social media, I do see the returns. I see the data. I see the analytics. I see a return that may not come in any apparent evidence right now, but I see the numbers and I trust it. I trust myself. So here I am pursuing it. I think aside from not being a standard sales agent, I like to pride myself on the fact that I tend to know what I want and I tend to want to go get it and settle for nothing less. I I pride myself on that. I do. And some people might think that's a negative thing. If they do, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have found this video. So I'm sure that if you're sitting here listening to this, then we get each other, we're on the same page, and we're gonna take the next step. And on top of me liking the fact that there's a possibility you can get what you want. I also like to think I think out of the box. I like to think that I forge my own path and I try to find solutions or resolutions anywhere that they may not have even existed. I really do feel like the fixer kind of person. You can't fix it, you can't solve it, you don't know how to reframe it, think about it a different way. I feel like I could do that. No, let me reframe that. I know I can do that, so let's tackle your problems. Let's tackle these hurdles in front of you. Let's tackle whatever life is trying to throw at you, whatever this industry is trying to throw at you. The third thing I'm going to mention about myself is that I know my value. I know my value, I know my worth, and I have standards for myself professionally and personally, and I do not settle for less than those standards. And I continuously raise the bar, at least for myself. That is my personal opinion on me. What you do with your life, with your time, with your agency, with your real estate career, your real estate search is up to you. But this is in no way a sales tactic. This is in no way me saying, "Hey, come buy this house." No, this is educational, it's informative. It is truly a digital media brand that is trying to give you an inside look into the industry, into my perspective, my point of view, and my experience. So you don't need to find an agent through here. You can be inspired, you can take notes, you can go to some of my other social medias if that is something you're interested in. I don't know how we got to this sales gimmicky part. It's not a sales pitch, but you know what? If I got you, then I have an Instagram and I have a Facebook, and you can contact me there. Maybe I'm just naturally a salesperson. And this is where we've come to. This is how we got here. But let's move on. There is one thing I am going to promise you because, as an agent and in the real estate industry, it's very important, at least from my training and what I've learned, is to not promise things. The agent or the industry itself can promise you the moon, the stars, and the whole entire galaxy, but don't be surprised if you are not provided with the moon, the stars, and the entire galaxy. Okay? In this office, we can guarantee one thing. Two, actually. One, we will do our best. Two, we will always honor our fiduciary duties. And I know that sounds cheesy and like I'm supposed to say that, but truly, the fiduciary duties are honestly, if you have a good mindset, a good approach, and you are a person with integrity and self-respect, then honestly, you probably were already following these fiduciary duties without realizing it. But let's move on to the next section, and we're going to cover what I plan on introducing in these episodes and what you can expect. We have to stay hydrated because As I've warned you, I talk a lot and my mouth gets dry and I need to stay hydrated or I won't look good on camera and my voice will start to crack and, all of the above. Real estate is a very loud and noisy industry. There is so much going on, there's so much commotion, so much change, constant evolution, constant talking, constant networking, constant events, constant sales, constant transfers. There's just so much going on. There's so much commotion. It is this grand industry environment ecosystem of professionals constantly on the go. I have never met so many people that are so driven, devoted, and on the go as I have in real estate. They are nonstop. If the minute you are not loud enough, someone is trying to take your deal, they're trying to take your client, they're trying to steal your business, they're trying to undermine you, or they just will simply forget about you. If you don't show up on social media, you lose traction. If you do not stay front client facing, they will forget about you. If you're not continuously providing some form of value or entertainment, then you will disappear into a very large pool of professionals. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've had to learn. You have to stand out. Nobody's going to give you a client, nobody's going to give you a deal. You're not going to come into this industry and have a plate ready to eat. That's not how it works. I've heard this in a podcast and it's always stuck with me. You eat what you kill. And in this industry, no matter who you are, you're on the hunt and you better have some skills or you're not eating dinner. And I mean literally and metaphorically. And there's no set timeline, no framework, no right or wrong way to do it. Some might tell you use a bow and arrow. Some might tell you to use a no, I don't know how many weapons I can go into on here. So let's just go back to less metaphorical. They will tell you to cold call. They'll tell you to do open houses. They will tell you to do more cold calls. They will tell you to do more open houses. They will tell you social media. They will tell you sphere of influence. They will tell you mailing. They will tell you to email everybody. They will tell you to make newsletters. They will tell you to hand out little goodie bags with business cards. There are so many options when it comes to putting yourself out there and putting yourself in front of people and presenting yourself as an option. There is no right or wrong way to do it. There is only a right way to do it for you and a wrong way that does not work for you. Just make sure, one thing I've learned, if you think it doesn't work, probably try it again, maybe a third time, to make sure it's actually not working. Because just because it doesn't work the first time doesn't mean it won't work. On that note, I want to, I guess, debrief my positioning. When I came into this industry, I probably already mentioned this. I tried cold calling. Me and cold calling did not get along. It didn't take me anywhere. I also I felt like I lacked confidence, especially since the first thing you do when someone calls you or wants to offer you services, you look them up. My name, my brand, my image, my headshot had nothing but the name, my brokerage, and my headshot. That was it. No post, no value, no history, nothing that said, hey, this is a real estate professional that will serve you and absolutely go above and beyond for you. There was nothing that said that. And I really do think that took a toll on my confidence. So when calling, I did my, I think I did my best. I didn't use any like specific scripts. I used some scripts some of my team members gave me. I used scripts that me and ChatGPT came up with. I tried to use scripts that sounded more like something I would do. I do have a background in customer service and people pleasing, so I did feel that, maybe it would have been an easier thing. Let me just tell you, not everybody wants to buy or sell a house, okay? They don't want to buy or sell a house all the time. It's not as easy as I don't know. Honestly, I feel like people buy anything and everything except for when you want them to buy anything and everything. But that's the point. Did I give up on cold calling? No. I tried it for a couple months and I did end up thinking to myself, social media is what I would prefer. I would prefer social media. I have more fun with social media. Sitting there doing cold calls for an hour a day, it was great. It really was. Well, actually, no, I don't know what I'm talking about. It was not that great. It was very boring. It was, I guess, kind of depending who answered, sometimes they were yelling at you, sometimes they were telling you like a sad story, sometimes they just wouldn't answer. And it was okay, but in social media I realized Facebook alone, I was like, okay, like this thing says this thing. The analytics are saying my profile got 1,000 views and I posted one picture. And that's like over what it says like 7 days, past 7 days, right? 1,000 views to your profile. And in my head, I'm like, huh, 1,000 views. And so I started doing some research. Is 1,000 views better than doing 10 to 20 cold calls a day for 5 days out of the week or 4 days out of the week? Is that going to lead to higher conversion rates? Is that going to lead to higher client rates, higher transaction count, whatever? Hold on, I'm losing my train of thought. And I'm looking into it. The data, which I can't cite for you right now because I don't have it in front of me. I don't even think I wrote it all down. I just kind of gathered some general information. Says that when it comes from cold calling versus social media, usually social media has more of an evergreen aspect to it. So it can compound a lot longer than calling would. And on top of that, if someone finds you through social media, they might have been looking compared to cold calling people who may have not been looking or were looking a long time ago. So the success rate was a little bit better with social media. The only difference was it was a little bit harder. Social media is not an easy thing. And I'm going to be honest, I thought it was easy. I thought it was easy. I thought, okay, I'm going to take pictures, take cute pictures, post them, post little selfies and some videos and tell everybody I'm a real estate agent and this is so much fun. That's not how it works. Okay. You have to learn to take pictures, you have to learn to edit them, you have to learn to word your captions properly, optimize them for Facebook, optimize them for Instagram. You have to use your SEO, your hashtags, and then you have to make sure it's converting views to followers and followers to leads and leads to clients and clients to close transactions. It's just a lot that goes into it. You need engagement, you need views. Some people chase virality. You don't need to chase virality. Some people try to build a community. Some people just post because that's what they're used to doing. Some people mix their personal social media with their business social media. And they're like, yeah, there we go. Little, that sounds rude. Little small town profile, there we are. Some people are like, you know what? No, like I'm gonna make this a bigger thing than I ever wanted it to be. Some people are just really good in their area, and 10 years later they have like 30,000 followers, and that's great for them. That's really truly great. Everyone has their own styles, everyone has their own perspective, the only thing that works for them. And I think that's what is the most difficult thing to realize in real estate. Everyone's going to tell you something different. I'm sitting here on YouTube and I'm going to tell you the truth. Someone told me, don't waste your time doing that. That is stupid. And then I watched a seminar and the guy was like, hey, yeah, I launched my own brokerage and it all started from YouTube. And, they told me not to do it as a waste of time, but don't let everyone convince you otherwise. So, of course, here I am. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to trust myself. I'm going to keep going. And yeah. Also, do not compare yourself. That man might have done YouTube and launched a brokerage 5 years later. That does not mean I'm going to start a YouTube channel and launch a brokerage. You never know. There's a gentleman. There is a colleague of mine. He started maybe a month ago. He did his first transaction, closed it. He's doing great. Good for him. I'm 4 months in and I have not closed a transaction. It's easy to look at that and say, oh, dang, what did he do that I didn't do? But in reality, it's not always about that. There's so many circumstances and and I read a book, what was it called? The Psychology of Money. He talks about luck. A lot of business endeavors have a lot to do with luck, and sometimes you can't measure things. But the point is, I could look at him all day and say, what did he do that I didn't do? But in reality, that doesn't mean anything. Everyone is different. Everyone has different circumstances. He might have sourced his leads differently. Maybe he just knew them. Maybe he happened to have a family friend that was selling their house immediately. You never know. Don't compare yourself. Speaking of the right and wrong ways, or the not right, not wrong ways, there are so many tools, and I've mentioned a lot of them, and I'm honestly just going on a big rant. But social media is a tool. Professionals, lenders, other agents, mentors, they are so important. I didn't think they would be, but they really are. They share your information, they get your name out there, and they answer your questions. They pick up your phone call, they invite you to those cute parties. They really are tools that you need to utilize, whether it be your cell phone, it be social media, it be cold calling, it be networking, it be dropping off cookies to your favorite lenders, it be going to all those lunches with those lenders, going to those open houses, hosting open houses, sending those mailing letters, the email newsletters. There are so many tools. You need to curate a toolbox that works for you and wear your tool belt with pride and utilize it every chance you get, and you will be an absolute machine. I feel like I can guarantee it. I want to guarantee it, but in this time, I'm still putting my tool belt together. But you know what? I'm so confident in that I'm going to stick with it. Yes, put your tools together. I can see people with their tool belts. They are machines, and it is because they picked what works for them. They put it in their tool belt and they wear it with pride, and it works. Speaking of tools, I, for the last time, will mention what I'm doing here. Well, maybe not for the last time. I can't guarantee that because I like to talk about myself. One thing in real estate, you always have to market yourself and what you're doing and how you're gonna do better. And it's just, it works. Okay. I don't want to just have a social media. I want to build a digital media brand. So real estate agency has its own pool of income and potential. And on top of that, the real estate industry expands that pool. It definitely at least doubles that. No, no, no. It definitely like quadruples that income, that potential. When you combine that with the emerging industry, it's honestly not even that emerging. I just don't think everyone has tapped into it like they could. But digital media, the digital media industry is a multi-billion dollar industry and we are not utilizing it like we could. And I think that is a part of being an agent or finding your own tool. Honestly, it's probably finding a tool that not everyone really thinks of and using it and making it your own and forging your new path. So, in my mind, not only am I going to combine being a real estate agent, but I want to combine being a real estate agent with building a digital media presence, a digital media brand that focuses on the real estate industry. So I feel like it quite literally triples the potential of what we could do. And I know it sounds a little silly. It doesn't sound silly. If you're a visionary, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you hear what I'm saying and you know exactly what I'm talking about. The synergy between these industries can do big things. It can make big changes, and all you can do is pursue it and trust yourself. Other than that, this industry requires professionalism. And there are so many aspects that go into professionalism. There's so many ways you can carry yourself. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to be professional. There's probably somebody on the other side saying, "Oh my gosh, sitting there in front of a ring light with the ring light in your glasses, that's not professional. Sitting there stuttering or making fun of things, I don't know, whatever it is, whatever he's saying, it's not professional. Maybe he's not wearing things professionally. His haircut's not professional." There are so many ways you could do that, okay? But whatever the professionalism is that you hold in your life and in your business, I do think it needs to reflect in your personal life. I don't know about y'all, but in my class, they did tell us you need to invest in yourself or you will not be able to invest into clients. So I think the professional aspect, it's not just having standards for yourself and your business, it's having standards for yourself and your life. So they need to flow through whatever you're doing with your clients, to how you're building your business, to how you're presenting your business, to how you're running your life, to what you do at home. It all needs to kind of flow because you cannot fill their cup if yours is not filled. And I know that sounds so basic and we hear it all the time, but there is so much truth in it that that is probably why we hear it all the time because it is so true. So make sure that whatever you're doing, you are showing up as the version of yourself you want your clients to see, you want your business to reflect, you want your personal life to reflect, and take it a step further. When taking it further, don't cut corners. I don't know if the whole talking with my hands is annoying, but I'll try or not try to reduce it. Don't cut corners. You will get a lot of people, like I said, telling you social media is not worth it, it's a waste of time, and it's stupid. That's okay. It didn't work for them. Maybe they haven't tried it. Maybe they just heard that from somewhere. You don't know. That is not your corner to cut. If you feel that that is something you want to do, if you feel like you want to take that long way, then do it. If it works for you, great. I'm going to be honest. This industry, this career, you are constantly learning, evolving, and doing more. The time will pass. You might as well pursue something you want to pursue. If it doesn't work, that's okay. The time was going to pass anyway. Like, just keep going. And you're never putting, oh, I hate this quote. You're never putting all your eggs in one basket. So, if I'm putting some of my eggs in social media, that's okay. If I lose two eggs, but I have a couple other baskets with a couple other eggs, it will be okay. On that note, on that note, I need to put some more eggs in other baskets because right now I'm putting a lot of eggs in social media and it's because I'm really trusting myself, but I do need to expand. Is it is a task to juggle personal life, other careers, this career, learning your own way, pursuing something like social media. It really does take a lot of time and energy. Anyone who makes content, any agent that you see that like has that good content, that has that continuous content, that continuous evergreen post, ask them. They will tell you there's so much more that goes into it than they realized. There's so much more that goes into it than anyone realizes. And it takes a lot of time and energy, and especially money. I kid you not. Right now, I'm recording on my iPhone. You know how much a camera is? A couple thousand, maybe three, $4,000 for a good camera. But maybe you'll go get a media manager company and they'll come in for like maybe 5 to 6 thousand a month, whatever it is. Sometimes it does cost to pursue those new things, but there is a way to make it work with whatever resources you have. Whether that's other people's money, whether it's your money, whether it's making do with what you have, or whether it is crafting a new way. You've got this. Absolutely, you've got this. I feel like a motivational speaker. And I promise this isn't even scripted. Like I have an outline with points that I'm supposed to read off of. Not supposed to. I just read off them to keep me on track. And I'm not even reading them that much, and I'm just going, going, going. I think I forgot to mention the three aspects I would be covering in this channel. It was the agent. So, whether that be a new agent, an old agent, someone looking for an agent, we are going to go through aspects that make an agent better. I am going to share how I am bettering myself as an agent, what I'm learning as an agent, what I see around me as agents, what I see in real estate professionals, and share that with y'all. On top of that, we are going to look into the industry because real estate is not just being a real estate agent. There's so much more that goes into it. And I don't think we really realize that, whether it be lenders, builders, interior design, staging, photography, artwork. It really is a lot. And I want to expand on that industry and I want to really grasp what's there and I want to see the potential that is truly there. And we're going to dig it up and we are going to mine gold. That's what we're going to do. And the gold, whether that be education, that be knowledge, that be sales, that be profits, that just be rapport and this amazing community we're building, I'm here for it. The third thing is going to be what I'm getting into next, which is going to be the properties. So, yes, the industry is wide. Yes, there's real estate agents. There is property. That is real estate. There are so many different properties, whether it be investment, vacation, residential, commercial, single family, multifamily. There's so many different properties, and not everyone is going to work in all of them. There's actually very like I'm okay. I'm not going to say there's very few that work in all of them, but you have to be experienced to work in them. And if you are not experienced or you don't have the knowledge, you have to have someone watching over you or kind of helping you with what you're supposed to be doing. From what I learned in the laws and my course, because they do not want someone, they don't want me, a residential agent, to go in and say, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna just do commercial because I know everything about it. No, I probably should have a mentor helping me because it's so different. And I want to look at the properties. I love a beautiful house. I love beautiful counters. I love a good layout. I love, I just like architecture. I like to see the life a home holds. There is so much that goes into it. Everyone talks about like, oh, what stories do these walls hold? Forget the stories. You know how many generations have lived within these walls? Excuse me. You know how many generations have lived within these walls? Do you know how long this house has been here? Do you know how long that building has been there? These are literally legacies passed on through the generations. And it is crazy to think most of these buildings are older than us. They're more intricate than us. They are their own living entities. And it is an absolutely beautiful thing to explore them and get to know them. It is not just four walls, it's not just a floor, not just a new roof that was built 2 years ago or put in 2 years ago. It is a home. It is a legacy. It is wealth. It is, some people use it as wealth vehicles. They use it as wealth vehicles, wealth building, generational wealth. It really, there's so much more that real estate can be than just a house that you're buying or selling. It truly is a great thing to see the potential beyond just a home that someone's going to live in for 4 or 5 years to move to another one. There's so much more to it. I'm going on this rant about properties in the industry, and I think the concern is, how do you get people to see what you're seeing? How are you going to get people to see the vision that you have in your mind, to see it the way you do, to expand their own perspective? And I think that's easy. One, if you're here, then you probably already have an expanded mind. You're probably already thinking that real estate is so much more than what you think it is, and you want to know more. That's more than likely why you're here. Second, I have this habit of asking never ending questions, questions that get deeper, 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 shallower, 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 and then flip over and go deeper again. They're just the questions, the difficult questions. I love difficult questions. I love out of the box questions. I like questions that stimulate the mind and expand the perspective. I really do. So I have no doubt in my mind that whatever I am thinking or whatever I'm trying to envision, I will be able to at least get us to a middle ground so we can form the idea together. Honestly, I sound crazy. I sound like this is, uh, I sound like I am talking about a whole nother universe. But as I keep saying this, as cliche as this sounds, the real estate industry is a whole other universe. A a whole nother? No. It is it's its own universe, however you say that, and it is waiting to be explored. It is waiting to be utilized. It is waiting to be admired. So another thing that they talk about is, how are you using properties or real estate to change lives? I can see where it changes lives, but in my mind, I think that's kind of where we differ. When I look at real estate and changing lives, I don't see this life changing house. What I see is properties, industries, professionals that bring life to the real estate industry. They bring life from the real estate industry into the human heart, the human soul. And like Steve Jobs said, you're not just selling a product, you are selling a feeling, an experience. And honestly, I think real estate embodies that completely. So the question really is not really how are you going to change lives? I think the question is how will you bring life into this even more so than it already is? I would love to say that's it, but I have a goal and I feel like I talked really fast. And I think I think I'm going to share a little bit about my background just so y'all can get to know me and see where we came from, or see where I came from and where we're going. So I have worked in, right, I'm gonna give you my resume. I have worked in the real estate, no, not the real estate industry. I've worked in the real estate industry for 4 months. I have worked in the customer service industry for 8 years. Actually, this month, 8 years. Um, if there's one thing I learned, customer service industry is like a perfect foundation for sales. And I don't like to think of myself as a salesperson, but in reality, I am a licensed real estate sales agent. I can't remember exactly what it's called in Texas. I forget what my paper says, but it truly, there is a lot that goes into customer service and customer experience that can help in sales. Honestly, sales is such a broad term. I do feel like there's a lot of industries that can feed into sales, but people love connection, they love being nurtured, they love being related to, and they love being seen. So I think, I hope that my customer service experience, the 8 years I've put in, will pay off in ways that I can't even imagine. Hopefully, me sitting here smiling. Honestly, why am I smiling? Because I am so happy to be a real estate agent. I'm so happy to explore this industry with y'all. Yes, but I'm also just a smiley person. And I did just finish some caffeine, and I'm gonna tell you the truth. I run on caffeine. I plan to eventually not run on caffeine, but caffeine makes me happy. And when I'm drinking my caffeine, I don't stop smiling. But yeah, so customer service, 8 years. And other than that, what else have I done? I Yeah, customer service. I worked in service management for a little while, and then I moved into, I guess I'll just tell you all my whole background. I moved into the pharmacy. I became a pharmacy technician. I've been doing that for a year or two, and then I moved into studying for real estate. I did also happen to study some HubSpot certifications in marketing and social media strategy. HubSpot is, this is not sponsored. HubSpot offers what is called HubSpot Academy. It is a free educational platform or software that offers some certificates as well as just courses and overall training in social media. I want to say it has three: sales, marketing, and I want to say data, something like that. But I primarily focused on a couple sales courses, but the certificates I did were social media strategy or marketing and digital media content creation, something like that. I would have to dig them up. Well, not dig them up, they were just recently. Well, maybe like, oh, shoot. Time goes by so fast. That's another thing. Time goes by so fast. When you're building a legacy or anything related to a generational or a lifelong thing, you kind of just, it gets all jumbled up, and quarter one turns into quarter two, quarter three turns into quarter four, and next thing you know, you're back at quarter one. And you don't even know what happened. And then you've been in the industry for 30 years, and here you are, and you're just closing on the houses over and over and over and over and over. But let me calm down. I have the certification somewhere, probably in my computer. And welcome to the Agent Archives, if you could see the background. I did flip this around. Oh, sorry, I'm jumping. Jumping. That's another thing. Everyone in real estate, like, you think I'm bad? The way they jump around in conversations, they talk so fast. They never stop talking, actually. If you stop talking, someone takes your client, someone takes your job, you're fired, whatever, they report you. You literally have to keep going. They're like sharks. They're sharks. You never stop swimming. And they talk about anything and everything in the span of 5 seconds. They don't stop talking, like I just said. And then they're going to come back and tell you, like, oh, can you repeat that? But that's okay. If there's anything I learned, the human mind can only process 30 to 70% of what it is told. That is why it is suggested you repeat yourself about 4 to 5 times if you really want them to retain the information you were saying. But back to what I'm saying. The HubSpot certifications, they're in like social media and marketing, content creation. I can dig them up eventually and we can have another video about that. But I did that, and now I'm pursuing real estate as well as building a digital media brand. And I am trying to get into specifically content creation and photography, especially for real estate, because one, unless you're going to hire out, you have to learn to do things yourself. So there's a lot of professional photography, they do great work, but some agents just do it themselves. I am one of those very, very cursed people, cursed professionals that feels the need to do everything themselves in a way. I want to know how to do it. I want to know how to do it good. I also have a vision, and it is very hard for me to find other professionals or people that to work with that see and execute what I am envisioning. So I have found in my life it is usually the best thing for me to do it myself because usually I can execute what I'm envisioning. I'm getting out of that. You need to learn to delegate. You need to learn to expand. Need to learn to let people, you know, offer support. You need support. You need systems. Oh, that's another thing. Systems. Well, we can talk about that in another video, but systems are great. Prioritize systems. They will save your life. They save so much time. Time is money and energy. And you know what? You get to go home, do whatever you want to do in your free time, or you get to go make more money. But the point is, there's so much more that goes into it. And back to me and my background. So after social media, real estate, yada yada. Other than that, what else am I into? I am into going to the gym sometimes. I like to read. I am currently reading, I don't know if you can see it back there. It's so basic. The 48 Laws of Power. I'm currently reading the 48 Laws of Power. I am going to read The Art of Seduction next because I was told it is an absolutely amazing book. Absolutely. I don't know. I'm having a lot of grammatical errors today. I must be glitching. But The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene supposedly is extremely beneficial when it comes to the art of negotiation. And that's next on my reading list because, as you all know, in the real estate industry, negotiation is key. And in all aspects of life, I love to be able to negotiate exactly what I want. But besides that, I have a family. I'm not going to talk much about my personal aspects and family. I will talk about it a little bit because I am a human being and we're going to connect and build a community on it in this office. But I also know that there are um, risks in putting your family and personal information online and social media. And when it comes to the fiduciary duties, I don't think risking that is worth it. Don't think that falls in the fiduciary duty. So I'm going to keep it to myself a little bit. But that's okay because we're here for real estate and not for me. But if you want to talk about anything specific, you have any ideas, let me know. I do have, this is going to sound crazy, but you know what? We like a little bit of crazy. I have the next 15 weeks of video sessions, which is one long form video a week planned out. But they are pivotable, adjustable, flexible. So if you want to comment things you want to see, maybe you want to talk about, you want to hear certain aspect or something specific, let me know and I'm sure I can work it in there. Or if anything, we'll see it in quarter two, quarter three, quarter four. I'm sure you're gonna follow, right? You're gonna follow and follow the journey and like, subscribe, and send this to everybody you love and care about and all the professionals you know, because we're building something. We're building a digital media brand, a legacy, and we're gonna do this together. So as for now, I think that's it. It was great having y'all here. Feel free to clock out after this. But as you all know, in this industry, there's no such thing as clocking out.